Okay, so we're going to work on creating a custom character and modifying one. We used Ready Player Me and some other tools to kind of create. This video basically is building kind of off the pathway that Ben's video that outlines using a Mixamo character already did. But we're going to be using some different tools and whatnot. So again, in the video, he is using the starter package. So I just created a new project here, and I'm going to go to my package manager. I usually always dock my package manager here, so that's why mine's there instead of floating. If you don't have your package manager open, you'll need to go up to the menu and view the window. But I'm going to go to the third person character controller here, and I'm going to download it, and then I'm going to import it to my project. So then I'll have the same starter stuff. I imagine most of you have already done this or beyond this step. So once I add this, then I will have that Unity character ready to kind of build off of. And again, we're going to use kind of the same process. So if you've already seen that video, you'll kind of know what we're going to do. The biggest thing that we're doing is differently is we are going to be utilizing different character creation tools. Okay, while Unity updates, I'm going to use readyplayerme to create a character. Now, I went ahead and created a new avatar. If you haven't played with readyplayerme, it's super fun. It connects to all kinds of things, and you can have different avatars for any of them. And you can see over here, I have all kinds of different avatars I've created. Some of them for projects and different things I'm working on, some of them just for fun and different things. So what we can do is we can create a new avatar, and I'm just going to click add on this one because I'm kind of happy with how he's looking already. They do have a new avatar system called Player Zero that I haven't worked with a ton. For this, we're going to be using the default readyplayerme character. Again, these are already covered underneath the Creative Commons license, so you can use them in different things. I believe the standard license is a non-commercial license, but I know there are ways to use these in commercial products. But I think you might have to utilize the SDK packaging inside your product for that. I'd have to look through the facts a little closely. But basically, I've created this character. You can edit your character, body shape, and body look. You can modify the facial components of your character. They're all very stylized and a little simplistic, kind of running in between, I would say somewhere in between Fortnite and The Sims, kind of a look to them. But in some ways, it's kind of nice because it's universal. There are lots of different hairstyles, some really strange ones at the bottom, made by L'Oreal. The big thing is the different clothes. So if you're going to be using readyplayerme for a character for a game of yours, you can either use it as is. If you're happy with how it looks, go for it. I like to recommend, no matter if you're using a character creation system and you have the time or the ability to do so, I would highly recommend modifying it and customizing it. And the reason is a lot of these characters and different things tend to look overdone. So if you're using assets from the store that are free, for example, some of them like trees and things may not matter, but a lot of players will get used to seeing these same assets used over and over and over by developers. So if you can modify them and make something a little more unique, I highly encourage you to do so. So if I wanted to, again, change this out to some other style or look, again, I can kind of go through here and find something I like. I would say the most interesting outfits are definitely located underneath the full outfit tab, and they're adding new ones all the time. You can even also unlock outfits through different like partnerships and marketplaces. So like you can find an outfit you like and then we can go with it. So even like this one, if I liked it but I didn't love the wings or something, we could always edit this. Now, I'm trying to keep the path pretty user-friendly, pretty easy, pretty simple. So I'm trying to think where did I kind of liked the one I had there. It's like the token adventurer here. This one was nice. They added a brand new version of this same one that looks a little bit more fantasy, which I liked. So again, there's some cool outfits in here. For this, I had kind of a wizard idea. So I'm going to keep this one and we're going to download the file and work with it. Oh, so once you have your character, and I'm just going to go back to my hub, if it'll let me. So once you have your character developed, you can download any of your avatars, and it'll save it as a GLB file. Now this file is kind of a Web3 format. It's not the best format, but you can see here I can download avatar GLB right there for any of these. So if I want to get like this one too, download. You can see there it is downloading, and I can pick any of the ones that I've created for any platform. So if you like a different one, you create it later. Again, you can kind of download them and use them. All right, what we're going to have to do is take this and sort of convert it to a format that's going to be a little more user-friendly. But it's easy, don't worry. Okay, so to do this, I am here in Blender. So I am not the most, I don't use Blender a whole lot. So if this is kind of a first time, again, this process might be a little bit more complicated than using one of the other systems, but this process would work if you're using kind of a GLB file or a character file from lots of different places. And remember, if you need to rig that character, we have Mixamo to do that. So let me go ahead and just grab this. I'm going to hit X on the keyboard and delete that default box. I don't know why they have a default box. And then we're just going to simply import, and I'm going to pick GLTF 2.0. Now there is a script for 3ds Max for GLB files that I've read about, but I haven't used a whole lot myself. So I'm just going to, again, just use Blender here and import it. Now we're not going to do much in Blender. Basically, I'm just importing the character here. You can see it's got some of these weird collision spheres and stuff. Let's go ahead and make this so we can see the materials. Okay, so here I'm just going to hide this armature. So I'll have it, and then I'm trying to remember all the key commands for this. I don't use it a lot, right? All right, so it's good. And then there actually is kind of a tutorial and guide on this that I'll post as well here. But let's go ahead and come over here. Again, what's nice is this character that says finished. You know, it's already done and ready to go. All right. Where are we at? I'm going to go to the view right here. Okay, I think here's all of my stuff. So you can see there are a lot of these files. So what we can do is we can save these out and then apply them to it later. Right, there might be a faster way of doing this, but you can see here if I click the little image button, here are all the different textures, and there are a lot. Again, this is a pretty robust and complicated model, but I'm going to want ahead and save these textures out, and then we're going to export this as an FBX file. So let's go ahead and find a nice folder. Let's see, we'll do a new folder, and I'm going to call it Wizard Model, and we'll save it all in here. Save. I like that it says Halloween image. It's funny. Now there are also, if you look here, you can actually save out the normal maps for all of these too, which is really cool. I bet there's a script where you can export all these at once. All right, I might have gotten a bit distracted and played around with this hat with the sculpting tools and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to come over here and we're going to export this as an FBX file. Again, I'm going to put in that same folder, give it a good name like Wizard, and let's export it. Okay. Now, we could bring it into Unity as is, or if we wanted to, we could run it through Mixamo or continue modifying this. Again, at this point, actually, I would probably take this file and bring it into Photoshop for modifying a little more. All right, I'll try to wrap up this video. We might make it into 2 parts, but of course, Ben's video does a great job of kind of covering the other steps. But here's the wizard model that I've exported from Blender. And it says it's looking for the normal maps. Go ahead and fix now. Just drop it in there. All right, so you can see here is the wizard model. Looks like maybe our armature is kind of funky. Go ahead. Huh. It looks like maybe it exported something a little bit odd, didn't it? I gotta. It's like we're maybe gonna have to export this guy again. So it's missing a texture file too. I forgot I did not remember to export the texture of his belt. Actually, I fixed that on another version of this. I went ahead and played with this wizard in Photoshop. Let's see if it exported with that weird ball. We might have to go back to Blender and take care of it. Okay, so here's the other one we got. Definitely, I see the ball on all of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and maybe have to take a look at this guy in Blender because that's weird. It's possible that our bone structure is going to need to be fixed. So I might need to take this into Mixamo and re-rigging, which is kind of a bummer. But let's see if we can fix it in Blender first. Okay, well, I found the culprit. There is something in here like this iconosphere is what's causing the trouble. So I'm just going to delete it, and then maybe we'll try to go ahead and export this again. So looks like it really was our iconosphere element. Okay, so let's go ahead and export FBX. We're naming him Wizard2, export, and let's try this again. Okay, I just dragged over my new wizard model, and it worked just fine without that iconosphere element. Again, here you can see it is. Now this character, I went ahead and went into Photoshop and modified the colors on my character a little bit and its textures just a little bit. And then in Blender, I actually did just use the sculpting tools. I was just kind of playing around while I was waiting for Unity being so slow, and made a little bit of a point in his hat to make him a little more wizardy. Now, obviously, he could still use a little bit of work. You know, if I'm honest, again, if I really wanted to make some time on these textures, I could make him look even different. But even like this, I feel like he's still going to appear more custom, more special than if it was just something I grabbed from the Ready Player Me. All right, so we would just follow the rest of the steps. This video is so long already that Ben had done for bringing it in and replacing this character here with our new one from Ready Player Me. So Ready Player Me should already be rigged for animation. If it's giving me trouble, I could just take this model and upload it to Mixamo and go from there. Also today I went ahead and went into Blender and played around with this. But if I wanted to go into a different software application or platform or something, I could modify it even more. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. And again, you guys don't have to use this system. There are lots of them out there, and good luck.